Welcome back to another episode of Art Talk. I have got an interesting story for you. The story is this. A man whose name was Paraka. He was an average man, a reasonable man, and illiterate. But he had a friend who was a owner of many businesses. But before he started his businesses, he actually was Paraka's friend. So they were together and they struggled through life, and Paraka's friend, whose name was John, who started a business. And the business grew and grew, and eventually he became a multi-millionaire. And he had a change of properties, he had a lot of buses, he had a lot of vehicles, fleets of vehicles, change of properties, and he was filthy rich. And he started investing in many other sectors. And he even had businesses, offices as well. And he started recruiting people, university graduates to work for him. But Paraka, being Paraka, the humble servant, and a very, very faithful one. So he used to faithfully serve his friend John. And his friend John did not even increase his pay too. And when John recruited new university graduates, and they would walk in their full suit, and he would just serve them tea. So he would clean around the office, inside the office, he cleaned all the tables. Whenever John's business executives met, he would serve them tea and he attended to them. So he was very, very faithful. He had been, Paraka had been with John for many, many years, and he witnessed the growth of the business. And John became powerful, and he was the tycoon. He was a multi-millionaire. And one day, he contracted a disease that was very serious. So he was admitted to Pacific International Hospital. Treatments couldn't help, so his health was failing. And people started talking about who will inherit the business. The unfortunate thing was that John did not have any children. He didn't have any son or daughter to inherit the business. So he had this business empire, and somebody had to inherit. A lucky person was to inherit. So the business executives and some faithful managers rather started saying maybe he might give this business to this person, or maybe one of his brothers might inherit the business. But John didn't say anything. One time he felt that his health was failing. Even the doctors couldn't help. So he called an emergency meeting, and all his business executives, the general managers, and the supervisors, and other senior people went to his bedside, and he had that last meeting at his bedside. So all of them went to Pacific International Hospital, and Paraka, being Paraka, who was also there just to, in case some of these managers need assistance, or just he was there just to attend to them. So John called managing general managers and managers in one by one, and he gave them instructions as to what they would do with all his businesses, his fleets of vehicles, his investments offices, his real estate, and so many other businesses, the businesses that he had. So he started giving them instructions as to what they would do with such businesses in the event that he died. So he had finished talking with them, and then he asked, is there anyone, any other person around for me to talk to? They said, no, there's no other person here. And at last he called, and then people started wondering, who will he give his business to? And they started wondering, and they expected him to announce the next owner, but he only gave instructions as to what they would do with those businesses, how to manage them, where to keep the money, and how to invest. And he didn't even announce the next owner in the event that he died. So everybody was like in suspense. And then he asked for Paraka to be brought in. Somebody said, Paraka is not here. Okay, go out and check. So he was down there at the car park waiting for the executives and the managers to come back. And while he was waiting down there, he was praying that God would restore his boss and longtime friend and a faithful friend, John, that God would heal him and he would come back home, because it was too much for Paraka to let him go. By all means, he wanted him to be back, his health fully restored, and he wanted John back. That's all he wanted. So he was silently praying for his healing down there at the car park. And then somebody went out and called him. Oh, John would like to talk to you. Come up, hurry. So he rushed up to the hospital room where John was. And then John asked everybody else to come back, so all of them walked in. And in the presence of them all, he placed his hand on Paraka, dropped some warm tears, and said, Paraka, you have been very, very faithful to me. All these times, I have not given you a single honor. I did not even increase your faith. You didn't complain. You always faithfully served me, my businesses, all my executives and employees. You served them tea, you cleaned their offices, and even office as well as my home. You have been my loyal soldier since day one. I haven't given you anything. I feel that my time has arrived and I am going to go the way our ancestors have gone. Because you have been with me, all I have is yours. You are now the new owner of my businesses. And then John turned to all the general managers who were staring at him with their mouths open and in a state of shock. And John turned to them and looked them in the eyes and said, you, all my general managers, my managers and faithful employees, your new owner now is Paraka. You will to serve him just like you have served me, and all will be well with you. Paraka is now the new owner. The moral of the story is, don't complain. Even when you are not recognized, or your value is not appreciated, or your efforts are not appreciated, go ahead and serve faithfully. And God will make sure that one day you will be recognized and rewarded accordingly. Thank you, and God bless. Woo!